Trance channel here today for our daily Course in Miracles lesson together. Thank you for joining me. Today we are doing lesson number 136. Sickness is a defense against the truth. No one can heal unless he understands what purpose sickness seems to serve, for then he understands as well its purpose has no meaning. Being causeless and without a meaningful intent of any kind, it cannot be at all. When this is seen, healing is automatic. It dispels this meaningless illusion by the same approach that carries all of them to truth and merely leaves them there to disappear. Sickness is not an accident. Like all defenses, it is an insane device for self-deception, and like all the rest, its purpose is to hide reality, attack it, change it, render it inept, distort it, twist it, or reduce it to a little pile of unassembled parts. The aim of all defenses is to keep the truth from being whole. The parts are seen as if each one were whole within itself. Defenses are not unintentional, nor are they made without awareness. They are secret magic wands you wave when truth appears to threaten what you would believe. They seem to be unconscious, but because of the rapidity with which you choose to use them, in that second, even less, in which the choice is made, you recognize exactly what you would attempt to do and then proceed to think that it is done. Who but yourself evaluates a threat, decides escape is necessary, and sets up a series of defenses to reduce the threat that has been judged as real? All this cannot be done unconsciously, but afterwards your plan requires that you must forget you made it, so it seems to be external to your own intent, a happening beyond your state of mind, an outcome with a real effect on you instead of one effected by yourself. It is this quick forgetting of the part you play in making your reality, quote unquote, that makes defenses seem to be beyond your own control. But what you have forgot can be remembered, given willingness to reconsider the decision, which is doubly shielded by oblivion. Your not remembering is but the sign that this decision still remains in force, as far as your desires are concerned. Mistake not this for fact. Defenses must make facts unrecognizable. They aim at doing this, and it is this they do. Every defense takes fragments of the whole, assembles them without regard to all their true relationships, and thus constructs illusions of a whole that is not there. It is this process that imposes threat, and not whatever outcome may result. When parts are wrested from the whole and seen as separate and holes within themselves, they become symbols standing for attack upon the whole, successful in effect, and never to be seen as whole again. And yet you have forgotten that they stand but for your own decision of what should be real, to take the place of what is real. Sickness is a decision. It is not a thing that happens to you quite unsought, which makes you weak and brings you suffering. It is a choice you make, a plan you lay, when for an instant truth arises in your own deluded mind, and all your world appears to totter, and prepare to fall. Now are you sick, that truth may go away and threaten your establishments no more. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from the truth? Because it proves the body is not separate from you, and so you must be separate from the truth. You suffer pain because the body does, and in this pain are you made one with it. Thus is your true identity preserved, and the strange haunting thought that you might be something beyond this little pile of dust silenced and stilled. For see, this dust can make you suffer, twist your limbs, and stop your heart, commanding you to die and cease to be. Thus is the body stronger than the truth, which asks you to live but cannot overcome your choice to die. And so the body is more powerful than everlasting life, heaven more frail than hell, and God's design for the salvation of his Son opposed by a decision stronger than his will. His son is dust, the Father incomplete, and chaos sits in triumph on his throne. Such is your planning for your own defense, and you believe that heaven quails before such mad attacks as these, with God made blind by your illusions, truth turned into lies, and all the universe made slave to laws which your defenses would impose upon it. Yet who believes illusions but the one who made them up? Who else can see them and react to them as if they were the truth? God knows not of your plans to change his will. The universe remains unheeding of the laws by which you thought to govern it. And heaven has not bowed to hell, nor life to death. You can but choose to think you die, or suffer sickness, or distort the truth in any way. What is created is apart from all this. Defenses are plans to defeat what cannot be attacked. What is unalterable cannot change, and what is wholly sinless cannot sin. Such is the simple truth. It does not make appeal to might nor triumph. It does not command obedience, nor seek to prove how pitiful and futile your attempts to plan defenses that would alter it. Truth merely wants to give you happiness, for such its purpose is. Perhaps it sighs a little when you throw away its gifts, and yet it knows with perfect certainty that what God wills for you must be received. It is this fact that demonstrates that time is an illusion, for time lets you think what God has given you is not the truth right now as it must be. The thoughts of God are quite apart from time, for time is but another meaningless defense you made against the truth, yet what he wills is here, and you remain as he created you. Truth has a power far beyond defense, for no illusions can remain where truth has been allowed to enter. And it comes to any mind that would lay down its arms and cease to play with folly. It is found at any time today if you will choose to practice giving welcome to the truth. This is our aim today, and we will give a quarter of an hour twice to ask the truth to come to us and set us free. And truth will come, for it has never been apart from us. It merely waits for just this invitation which we give today. We introduce it with a healing prayer to help us rise above defensiveness and let truth be as it has always been. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. Healing will flash across your open mind as peace and truth arise to take the place of war and vain imaginings. There will be no dark corners sickness can conceal and keep defended from the light of truth. There will be no dim figures from your dreams, nor their obscure and meaningless pursuits, with double purposes insanely sought remaining in your mind. It will be healed of all the sickly wishes that it tried to authorize the body to obey. Now is the body healed because the source of sickness has been opened to relief, and you will recognize you practiced well by this. The body should not feel at all. If you have been successful, there will be no sense of feeling ill, or feeling well, of pain or pleasure. No response at all is in the mind to what the body does. Its usefulness remains and nothing more. Perhaps you do not realize that this removes the limits you had placed upon the body by the purposes you gave to it. As these are laid aside, the strength the body has will always be enough to serve all truly useful purposes. The body's health is fully guaranteed because it is not limited by time, by weather or fatigue, by food and drink, or any laws you made it serve before. You need do nothing now to make it well, for sickness has become impossible. Yet this protection needs to be preserved by careful watching. If you let your mind harbor attack thoughts, yield to judgments, or make plans against uncertainties to come, you have again misplaced yourself and made a bodily identity which will attack the body, for the mind is sick. Give instant remedy should this occur, by not allowing your defensiveness to hurt you longer. Do not be confused about what must be healed, but tell yourself, I have forgotten what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth, but I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. And that is our lesson for today. Long one. Lesson number 136. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And this, of course, is the ego's greatest argument. When you sicken and your body seems to betray you, the ego can say to you, see, you are abandoned. God does not love you. God would not let this happen to you if he loved you. You are being punished by God. And so your own distortions are projected upon God, and you become the victim and God becomes the perpetrator. This is what the ego's wish is. You must remember that in the origins of your separation experience, you chose to separate yourself from oneness, and in that separation you became so overwhelmed with guilt and fear that you created this world. And in an effort to prevent God from punishing you for what you perceive to be the ultimate betrayal, you then begin to punish yourself. You become guilty and you become sick because you do not believe that you are indeed the Holy Son of God, the Holy Child of God, the Holy Daughter of God. You believe you are a sinner and you believe that you have failed by coming into this place, but you have made your mind forget it, but you have not forgotten the guilt and the shame and the fear that you felt upon that initial separation, and the belief that God would punish you. So you are leaping in first to punish yourself. Now, these are all quite esoteric ideas, and most of you will say, I just got a cold. I don't know what you're talking about. But these are the unconscious motivations for your sicknesses. Most of you become sick to achieve something that you do not believe that you can achieve in health and love and life. You are indoctrinated into sickness. You are indoctrinated with such ideas as being vaccinated. This means that you have a cultural belief that unless a human intervenes, you are going to become sick and potentially die. This belief is in fact the unconscious guilt that you carry from the original separation. Your mind is far more complex than you know. It has more information in it than you know, multiple lifetimes and a plethora of details that it has been collecting every second of every day since you were born into this body. It is a machine that is working very, very hard to keep you separate from the truth. Why, you ask? Why is it doing this? Because the truth is overwhelming. The truth to the ego is ego's death. And so in choosing to come into separation in that original decision, that somewhat foolish decision, you miscreated an entire world and a belief system that says love is dangerous. God is going to punish me. I must keep away from love, for God is the ultimate expression of love. That is why you have so many issues with loving people and loving yourself on this planet, because you literally chose to enter a realm of not love. Now you will say, some of you, oh, well, I see love all around me. My friends love me and my mother loves me and my children love me. But we will ask you, how conditional is that? What do you have to do to get that love? How many hoops do you have to jump through before somebody decides that they are not going to love you? We want you not to be disillusioned with the world. We want you to understand that you are rising above the world. You are becoming a beacon of light for those that are deeply immersed in the 3D scheme, paradigm that you call life. You are stepping above the logical. You are stepping above the battlefield, and you are aligning with higher principles that really do not exist on earth in this time and place. So you could be called Pollyanna, you could be called delusional, you could be called someone looking at the world through pink colored glasses, because you are not getting all upset and twisted out of shape. But you understand the bigger picture. You understand that through your forgiveness practice, through the understanding that guilt is not necessary, sacrifice and suffering are not necessary, you are stepping one step at a time, one forgiveness practice at a time, one day at a time, further and further up that ladder towards the light and love that is your natural home. You have frightened yourselves. You have taken a deep detour into fear, and you are afraid to go home because you think the Father will punish you. That is what the story of the prodigal son is here to tell you, that the Father is only happy that you come home. There is no sin, there is no punishment. You will be welcomed with open arms in absolute and unconditional love. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you again tomorrow. All right, thank you for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.